got a really cool gift from my husband this year, and I've been dying to do a video on it. But my husband actually got me the Vida and Muerte palettes, which are these. So surprised by this gift because I mentioned to him once that I wanted this collection, or that I at least wanted the palettes because I thought they were beautiful, but I wasn't expecting him to go out and buy them for me. I wasn't even gonna spend that much money and buy them for myself. It was pretty nice and pretty thoughtful gift that he came up with. I've been dying to try them out in a video, but like practicing with them because I want to make sure that I make a really cool look with these. So this is the Vida one, and the colors in here are very bright and very pigmented and very beautiful. Then for the Muerte, which is actually my favorite one out of the two, this is what the colors look like. So as you can tell, I've already used palettes. They're a little bit dirty. Been mostly playing around with this one, and I just haven't loved the looks that I've done. It's not that there's anything wrong with the palettes themselves. Like, the palettes are beautiful, like I've mentioned, and the colors are so vibrant and pigmented and creamy and everything. It's just that I personally have not used Melt Cosmetics before, so I'm not used to the blending and the application and just the intensity of their products. So I feel overwhelmed and I feel like I can't do a good enough look. But like, I don't want beginners in makeup to feel overwhelmed by choosing darker colors or pigmented palettes, because you can still work with them. It just takes a little bit of practice, and even though I don't consider myself a pro, like I've already practiced using shadows and I kind of already know somewhat what I'm doing. But today I just wanted to go ahead and show you that you can use this very beautiful palette to create a very wearable day look that you can take to work or to go out or even at night. Like, it's a very versatile makeup look that I'm going to be creating today. I'm not sure if I'm going to be dabbling into the Muerte palette because this is more like a going out palette. Like, the colors in here are very dark, very intense, very smoky, date night type of vibes. And it's like 1 in the afternoon at the moment, so if I'm gonna be wearing this makeup out, I kind of want to go with the day palette. I've already primed my lids. I just prime them the way that I usually do with concealer, and I set my concealer. I'm sure that using an actual eyeshadow primer would be a lot better, but I've already been using these colors. They still look really bright and pigmented on the type of priming that I do on my eyelids, so I'm not too worried about the colors not coming off the same way that they are in the pan. And I'm actually going to be concentrating on these colors right here. Yes, there's other beautiful colors in this palette, and eventually, once I feel a little bit more comfortable blending these shades, I'm going to create more looks with these palettes. The color that I'm going to go in with is this one right here. It's called Atole, and I actually really love that shade. One, because it's the most wearable shade in the palette, but also because I love the name. I love atole. I don't know if you know what atole is, but it's basically this warm, yummy drink that Mexicans tend to drink during the cold season. It's kind of like hot chocolate. It's like a thicker consistency because we do toast maseca, which is like a corn flour. So you toast a corn flour and then you boil water with cinnamon sticks. Some people put other things in it, but the way that I make atole is I use cinnamon sticks, some abuelita chocolate, some sugar, some milk, and then you put in the toasted corn flour. And I know that it sounds really weird, and for most people that aren't Mexican, you think that it probably is disgusting, but we love it. We think it's like the best porridge out there, so try it out. I'm just gonna go ahead and take that color atole and use a fluffy brush to just go ahead and apply it to my crease. And this is just gonna be like my transition shade. It's like basically like you're contouring your eye with these shades. Definitely take your time blending these colors out, because if you just put them on and just kind of leave them there, they're gonna be really intense and they're not gonna look very good. So I suggest barely tapping in the brush into the pigment and then blending it out a lot. And as you can see, this color is a very muted brown, but it's still really pretty, and what I like about it is that it kind of creates like a very contoured look on your eye. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking a smaller dome blending brush, and I'm going to be going into this color right here. So I kind of think that it's like a brown, but it kind of has a hint of like green in it, which would make sense because it's next to like the yellow green colors. But I kind of want to use it to deepen up the outer crease a little bit. And all I'm going to be doing is just stamping it. I'm not going to be blending it out yet because, like I mentioned, these colors require a different technique. Putting on the color kind of like in a diagonal formation and then slowly bringing it up. And I've noticed that the way to like blend out the darker colors, like you can't really like swirl it. I mean, I could take this brush and try to swirl it, but it won't blend out the colors. So the way that I have noticed that I can blend out the darker colors in the palettes is just by tapping them, like using basically the same pigment that's already on the brush, tapping it above the areas that I want to blend. And then if I want to blend it out even more, then I would take the first brush that I used, go back into that same crease color, and then blend out the edges like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be doing that until I feel like the colors are blended enough for my liking. So you can kind of see right here, like this is a good example of I place those colors and then I'm trying to blend it out with like a blending brush, but the color just won't budge, like it just won't blend. And I don't know, it's because I need to use like a denser brush. The whole point of using a fluffy brush is so that it blends out the harsh lines. That's the only issue that I have with these colors. I just need to blend them out for like an eternity. They are very beautiful, so I'm not trying to complain about the quality of the palettes. I'm just complaining that it's a lot of work. It's also okay to go back and add a little bit more color, because once you blend out colors into each other, they kind of picks up a little bit of the color and makes it look a little bit patchy. So once you blend out the edges, it's okay to go back in and fill out those little spots that look a little bit patchy. But just remember to go back in with your fluffy brush. So at this point, you can kind of see that this doesn't look very good, at least not with my eye shape. So what I like to do is clean up the darker shade a little bit. And the way that I clean up is I just take a light shade. It doesn't have to be from this palette, because this palette doesn't have a very light shade, at least not a matte one. This is just a Profusion palette. I've used it in the past, and I've also used this technique in the past where I just take like a really light colored shadow and I use it to clean up areas that I feel went too dark or just went too far up into my crease. And I just take like a small flat brush, something kind of like this, and then I just swipe into the color and then clean up the area that I want to clean up. And it's mostly just like right there, because I don't want there to be too much darkness up near my brows. And you can see, like, it's just so easy. It's a really nice eraser technique. And see, that looks a lot better than how I had it originally. And it's okay to have your eye look the way that mine did at first, because what I was just doing is really trying to blend out those two colors together. So you can see the difference. Like, that shape looks a lot better than this one does at the moment, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing, just kind of carve out the shape that I want for my shadow. And then if you feel like you went a little too far down with the white color, then just go back in. Don't add more product to your brush, but just go back in with the same blending brush and then just blend out the edges one more time. This is kind of closer to what I'm looking for with my shadows. So then now I'm gonna go ahead and take the third color that I'm gonna be using, and I'm just gonna be taking the chocolate color in the palette, which is the dark brown, and I'm just gonna take like a flat little pencil brush like this up into that color and just add it to my lash line. Kind of does like the same thing that eyeliner does, which is just create a shadow behind your lashes so that they look a lot thicker and fuller. So I'm actually going to be taking a bigger flat brush and doing the same thing. I'm going to carve out my eyelid so that there isn't so much harsh darkness on my lid, and just carving out as if I were to do a cut crease. I'm just carving out the shape of my eyelid. So after I carved out the inner part of my eyelid, I just went back and blended out the two colors on the outer V, and then I try to go back to see if they match enough. So then I'm just taking the small brush, and I'm not adding more shadow to my brushes, I'm literally just using what's already on the brushes, and I'm just taking the smaller brush that has a darker shade and kind of creating that crease one more time. Obviously my eye shapes are not the same, so sometimes it's difficult to match the shadows on each eye, but I just kind of play around with it until I feel like it looks good enough. This is what I got going on so far. I'm debating whether or not I want to add like a shimmer color to the lid or just leave it kind of clean cut like this. I think for now I'm just going to leave it the way that it is, and then I'm going to move on. Okay, so I went ahead and added a wing because I felt like this look needed a wing. So this is what the eye look is looking like. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup off camera because I already have other videos where I show like my whole makeup routine, and today's video is mostly just concentrating on the palettes. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish my makeup and then come back and do the lower lash line because I kind of want to do something different. So yes, this is a wearable every single day makeup look, but because there are so many cute colors in the palette, I want to do something colorful on my lower lash line. So I will be right back. Okay, so I could leave this look here and just rock like the very more like natural contour eye look that I have going on here, and all I would have to do is either leave it blank, which I kind of like because it kind of makes my eyes look a little bit more lifted, or I could just add a little bit of mascara and add a little bit of the darker color underneath my lash line and smoke it out, and you know the deal. But because these palettes are colorful, I kind of want to add a little pop of color, so I could go in with the warmer tones. Then I also have a whole other palette, so there's really a multitude of options for these. And for some reason, like, I've been dying to try out this color right here, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and use that color. That is in the Muerte palette. That's the color Lágrimas. I'm gonna take this little, kind of meant for eyeliner, but it's also just a pencil brush. Is that the correct term? I don't know. Don't come at me if I'm getting that wrong. But I'm just gonna go ahead and dip into that Lágrimas color, and I'm gonna add it to the lower lash line. I'm not necessarily being too precise with this color because I am gonna kind of smoke it out. I think I'm gonna take this one right here and I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit. And this color is so beautiful on its own. Like, if I had the guts to rock this color on my eyelid, I would. And I might test it out at some point. You know what? I'm gonna take my pinky and I'm gonna dip into the shimmer shade next to it called Angelito, and I'm just gonna put it on the inner part of my lower lash line, kind of like that, and then bring it into the inner corner a little bit. I know it looks a little messy, but I'll just go ahead and blend it out. Once I do that, I'll take the same brush and just blend it. It's kind of giving me like mermaid vibes. If you went a little too far like I did right here, you can just take a beauty blender and kind of go over it again. There's also another shade in here, which is the lightest shade in the palette. It's a shimmer shade as well. It's called Calaca. And I'm just going to take that little brush and then I'm going to highlight my brow bone with it. Like that. And then I'm also going to highlight that inner corner a little bit more. So I also have this Neon Shockwave gel liner from LA Girl. That's like a really pretty teal color. It's called Fresh. I'm just going to go ahead and add it to my waterline. And I really love these eyeliners because they're super inexpensive, but they're so pigmented. They're so nice. So it's basically the same color as the shadow that I put underneath my lash line, but it's just a little bit brighter. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of mascara to the bottom lashes. I'm actually going to add a little bit of mascara to the top lashes too, because since I went back in with shadow, it kind of got on my lashes and made them a little bit ashy looking. I didn't really want to do like a super dark dramatic lash because I don't want to take away from the shadows, so that's why I went with a more wispy lash. But this is my first attempt using the Milk Cosmetics Vida and Muerte palette, and I think it came out pretty good. This is how you can rock a really nice pop of color without being over the top, and I feel like this is still pretty wearable. Like, I feel comfortable enough going out in public during the daytime and rocking this particular look. You don't necessarily have to do like a nude lip like I did. You can do whatever kind of lip that you want. Like, if I wanted to, I could add like a gloss to this, and I think that would look really pretty. Instead of adding a gloss, I think I'm just gonna add the shimmer shade in the Muerte palette, which is this one right here, and then just apply it to my lip. You see how that just transformed my lips and it looks like I'm wearing lip gloss? So as you can see, there's another use for your Muerte palette. Just add it to your lips and pretend that it's lip gloss without the sticky mess. Actually, I'm kind of curious now, because I actually saw Raw Beauty Christy do this with another Milk Cosmetics palette, and she added like color to her lips. I kind of want to see what it would look like with the teal color. Okay, obviously I would not go out in public with this lip, but this is actually really fun. But now that is everything for this look. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.